Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to video number 2 in this 3-part series that I'm doing. Today, I am going to talk about how to build and strengthen your motivation to do something that is outside of your routine, to take that step forward in your healing journey, so that you can get one step closer to the things that you want, to the relaxation and freedom and ease that you long for. So in yesterday's video, which I will put a link to in the post here so that you can access it if you missed it. In that video, I talked about the reasons why change is hard. I talked about how your body is physically wired, so it's literally created to protect you, and that these survival parts of your biology see change as a threat. And they have really powerful mechanisms in place to do everything they can to keep you from changing, all in an effort to protect you. But like we said yesterday, this protection is misguided. And you need to now learn how to step past that protective barrier. You need to now learn to protect yourself and to give yourself the things that you need. So, when these biological mechanisms are happening and they're so powerful, how do you overcome it? Well, before you can get anywhere, you have to know your why. You need to start by knowing why you are doing what you are doing. So this survival brain that we talked about yesterday, it's focused on what? It's focused on what is going to happen, and it's focused on how it's going to happen. It is going to get all caught up in worry and what if thoughts and worst case scenario type thinking, and that can all become very loud. So the way to cut through all that noise that you are going to experience, and the way to bring that rational brain of yours back in front and those goals you have back in front, is by bringing in why. So today I'm talking about 2 different types of whys that I want you to start thinking about strengthening and putting in your toolbox. So you need to both understand what it is that you are actually doing when you do stray from your routine and you take that step forward. And you need to know and to see where this step is leading you. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So I want to bring up an analogy here that I use often with the women that I coach and the women that I guide through this journey. And it is the analogy of the hiking path. Again, visuals. I'm going to share my screen here. So right now, you have been walking down this one path over and over and over again. And what happens when you walk down a path so many times? It becomes really nice and cleared out and paved and super lovely and easy to go down, right? So if you were a hiker approaching 2 different paths and one was unused and grown in, you would automatically want to go down the one that seems easy, that is cleared out, the one that seems like it's been used and is familiar. Now, the thing about your brain is it works in the exact same way. And you need to begin recognizing how much your brain is paying attention to everything you do. So like you've now learned, your brain bases its choices on what's familiar. And it doesn't like things that are new. So that means that if there is a path right now that your brain is used to going down, so if there's thoughts that your brain is used to thinking, if there are behaviors and patterns your brain is used to you taking, it will, at every chance it gets, if it's not challenged, go down that path. Because it's what it knows. It's what is easy, and whatever it knows, it thinks is safe. But what happens when that hiker chooses to one day go down that other path, that path that was more grown in. By going down it, some sticks will clear out to the side. A bit of a path will start to develop. And the more and the more and the more this hiker chooses to go down that path, the more clear it becomes, the easier it becomes to go down. And the other thing is that when that hiker chooses to continue to go down that new path and not the old one, what happens to that old one? The old one becomes grown in. The more grown in and harder to go down that old path becomes. So both of those things happen. The healing process works in the same way. Right now, your brain has two pathways. One is more familiar. It's the path of your disordered eating behaviors and patterns and routines. The other one is that new path. Right now, it doesn't look as easy because it's not the familiar one. It's not cleared out yet. But both of these paths are going to lead you somewhere. A path always has an end, a final destination. Now, the one that is familiar to you now, where does it lead you? It leads you to what you know. It leads you to the way you're living right now. The other path leads you to the things that you want. Now, here's the thing. The disordered eating brain, the good critical brain, brains in general, love to think in terms of what you are not doing. So it loves to think of what you are not getting, what you are missing, or what you are losing. This is the scarcity mindset. This is also the negativity bias that all brains have. It's going to want to come in and say, when you do something new, you aren't doing enough. You aren't being disciplined enough. So, to build your motivation, I need you to start training yourself to look ahead, to look forward. I want you to start training your brain to think of the things that you are doing, the things that you are getting. Not that you're lacking, not that you aren't doing enough of. How are you being active in this step? Because the fact is, when you do take a new step, you are doing something very active. Every choice you make, every step you take strengthens one of these two paths. So every step you take matters. Every time you make a choice that is in alignment with your values and the health and the future you want to have, you are strengthening a new pathway and you are letting that old one grow in. Remember how yesterday I said, with every choice you make, you are teaching your body that this new behavior is safe. So the first why I need you to remind yourself is, what am I doing by taking this step that feels uncomfortable? And that is teaching your body, building a new pathway, strengthening a new wiring, learning that food, that rest, that changes in your routine are okay. Now, when you think of these two paths, I want you to think about this new path that we're talking about, the one that you want to take, but right now feels grown in and hard to go down. What is at the end of it? What is at the end of all of this work you are doing? Is it self-acceptance? Is it a grounding in yourself? Is it peace? Is it relaxation? Is it a confidence in your health? Is it a confidence in who you are, no matter what your body size is? Is it brain space to be able to enjoy parts of life and the things that matter to you? I want you to close your eyes and see what images come up when you think of this end goal. What do you see? What do you hear? What feelings are coming into your body? What would it mean to you to get to this place? You can open your eyes. This is your end goal. This is where your work is taking you. That needs to be your motivation. Yes, there are going to be uncomfortable steps along the way. Learning anything new is going to feel uncomfortable. This is a skill, just like any other skill that you would acquire. Learning a sport, learning an instrument, it always feels awkward and confusing and hard at the start. But that's how things are learned. That's how rewiring works. So how do you keep this end goal strong with you each day? For this, we cannot rely on just your ration and your thoughts. So you can't just expect that you'll be able to say to yourself, because I want to be free each day, and be able to have that take effect. Because like we learned yesterday, when the survival brain kicks in and changes ahead of you, your rational brain will go foggy and it will feel hard to remember or think of that end goal. So the way to cut through your body's response to change is through your senses. It's through feelings. It's through visuals. It's by bringing this end goal into your sight. So for today, I want you to find a way to visually see this end goal for yourself every day. I have a worksheet for you today that is going to help you find clarity in your why, clarity in what you are doing, clarity in your end goal, and gives you an exercise to make a vision of these things that you are working toward. So if you watch this training and you would like this worksheet to clarify and strengthen your why, please type why down in the comments so that I can send it to you. I need to know who is interested in doing this work and doing this worksheet. So let me know by typing in the comments. Before I go today, a couple last quick notes on motivation. It gets easier the more you do it. This is something my clients and I talk about all the time. The more you choose this path, the stronger their wiring becomes, the more grown in that old path becomes, which means it gets easier. It will start to feel more comfortable. And lastly, motivation isn't always going to be there. So I want you to take that pressure off yourself. You are a human being. Human beings are not wired to always have motivation. But that means that you need to find ways to keep yourself moving forward to those things that you want, even when your motivation dips. That is where structure and planning are incredibly powerful in this work and important, which we are going to talk about tomorrow. This is also where finding a way to hold yourself accountable to your goals is also incredibly important, because the physical action of taking a step is rewiring action. So get yourself a source of support so that you can continue to take steps toward your end goal, even when your motivation feels hard to find. Find yourself a way to hold yourself accountable to someone, to keep taking those steps, because remember, every step matters. Okay, so that is it for today. If you would like this worksheet to clarify your why, be sure to comment. And I will see you tomorrow where we talk about setting up some structure and planning for actually taking that step and achieving your goal. Okay, bye-bye everybody.